Yeah, absolutely. We are definitely. We started back in 2009, so
Okay.
we've been going over 15 years now. And what we've seen over that time, it's not just kind of how we've grown as an organization. We're close to 1,000 members now, and when we started, I think we had 50. So, it's going really well. But the other thing that's changed is, as a householder, my recycling collection that I have at home is different. I can now put more materials into my recycling bin.
Yeah,
And I think recycling is much more of a norm for everyone. We're all used to
definitely.
doing
Yes.
it. It's
Yes.
just part of your daily life, isn't it? It's what you do at home, basically.
It is. You've become, I mean, in the UK, everybody's become used to putting things in the right bins and all that kind of stuff. It was a bit of a struggle at the beginning. I think people are trying to sort of have got used to it. Brilliant. So, in terms of, I mean, are there many people in your space? Is it saturated? Are you very much innovators, or
We are
what's the
we are the
situation?
only recycling labelling scheme in the UK, but we don't work alone because we can't work alone. We work with so many different stakeholders. I talked about the waste management companies, so the people
Yeah,
who are collecting the material and
yeah,
sorting it and doing stuff with it. The reprocessors themselves who then turn that material into something new, but also obviously the retailers and the brands, the packaging manufacturers, and then the people who are talking to us as householders. So we talk to the local authorities, we talk to governments about legislation that's coming in. So we're kind of one small part of the big picture to
picture,
do.
yeah. So
Absolutely.
multiple stakeholders. So you're
Yes.
obviously very much a critical ingredient within the whole thing. So that might bring me to the next question in terms of like complexity. So it's a question of like navigating, complexity. So you talked about talking to the regulators, and so the regulatory landscape for packaging seems quite complex, relatively
Yeah.
complex. There's a lot of noise around it, and it does shift. There's a lot of politics, and there's the
Yeah.
usual thing. The usual suspects saying certain things or whatever. So,
Yeah.
what do you think is some of your challenges facing, or I don't know, in terms of guidance or in terms of keeping to, I don't know, I don't want to say relevance because it'll always be relevant because you're dealing with such an important issue. But in terms of alignment with what's happening with the current trend.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really good question, and we are a UK based scheme, so our labels apply only to what happens in the UK because we look
Right.
at the collections that happen in the UK. But when you think about what happens across the UK, actually, waste is a devolved responsibility. So it's managed by the four different nations. It's not necessarily managed at a UK level, which can add an extra level of complexity to it, like you said. But then the other thing that we need to be very conscious of is, as much as we are a UK scheme, a lot of our members don't just sell in the UK. Brands don't sell just in the UK, they sell across a lot of different markets. So we have to have sight of what's going on in those other countries as well and be mindful of how that legislation and how that regulation might impact what they're trying to do. Because from a producer point of view, from a brand point of view, you don't want to have a different set of packaging for each country.
Right.
That's really
Well, that's not
costly.
going to
And
be I mean, in
yeah,
terms of commercial, it's a
absolutely.
nightmare. That would be a nightmare, wouldn't it?
Yeah, yeah. So you want it to be as streamlined as possible. And I guess part of what we do when we're talking to governments and other organizations as well is think about that alignment. Look at, what's coming out of the EU. We have regular conversations with other labeling schemes across the world. So there's a scheme that operates in North America, a scheme that operates in kind of Australia and New Zealand, and just talking to them about what are they doing and what's happening in their space, which
Yeah.
is often quite similar to what we're experiencing here, and trying to find that alignment where we can really and bring people together.
So, and I know that obviously the other thing is just to make sure that you keep up with I don't know, the quality, in terms of the quality. If you're exporting, a lot of countries, if they, a particular country is synonymous with quality, you've got to sort of like to keep that up. So I guess that
Yeah.
would be part of your remit.